I've heard some things.
Yeah.
I've heard some things, and we all know that in the past there were irregularities with Super Bowl tickets. Mike Tice, the former Vikings coach, found that out the hard way. Depending upon who you talk to, there are stories that can be told about a nice little tidy profit on the side that people who control Super Bowl tickets might or might not have made over the years. I've heard stories about that from time to time, and they try to be very tight about it now and very buttoned up. But still, the bottom line is anytime you do use the NFL's platforms to buy and sell tickets, they're involved.
Yeah.
And so, hey, you got to cancel your trip. We'll make a little money off of that transaction as you move the tickets from one person to another. Also yesterday, with the league meeting in Minneapolis, Super Bowl 60, which will be on NBC and Peacock, I assume, awarded to the San Francisco Bay Area, the stadium in Santa Clara. Last time around, Super Bowl 50, all the festivities were in San Francisco. It's a long way from San Francisco to Santa Clara, especially in traffic. So we'll be out there for a whole week, worrying about earthquakes. That's what I did the whole time. I was out there the last time.
You're such a neurotic. You're crazy.
No, I'm not. No, I don't worry about earthquakes here. Because this isn't a place where earthquakes happen. When I'm in a place where the earthquakes are, that's when I worry about the earthquakes.
I hear you. I know, but you're just funny how you even think about that stuff. Hey, it is a long drive. I wonder where we'll be stationed. You know, I enjoyed the last Super Bowl there, Super Bowl 50. The day of the game, it's a little bit of a trek to go there. Right, I've stayed downtown San Francisco, and then we did the whole train trolley thing into the stadium, which was very easy and convenient. I mean, they made it as easy as it can be, but it's an awesome stadium. I love the 49ers stadium. I think it's going to be great for Super Bowl 60. I'm excited that we got it on NBC.
I remember very clearly that week in San Francisco because it's the only Super Bowl other than the pandemic year, the Chiefs-Bucks game, that I didn't go to because PFT Live was moving from 12 to 3 a.m. or 12 to 3, noon to 3 Eastern. It was moving to 6 to 9 the next day.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, wait a minute, how am I gonna pull this off in California?
Right.
I'm gonna do 3 to 6 a.m. at some radio studio in California, and it was on NBCSN for an hour, I think, at the time. So it's like I just can't get there from here. Can't do it. So didn't go to that game. Ended up being a pretty good Super Bowl.
It was
so
a
I'm
good
looking
Super Bowl.
forward to it.
Yeah.
We've got Las Vegas, then we've got New Orleans, then we've got San Francisco, Santa Clara, Bay Area, the next three. And then for 61, like LA recently said, hey, we want that one. But I saw a report over the weekend in the Palm Beach Post that Miami was the one that was supposed to get it.
Right.
And now LA's involved. And they've gotten away from this whole competition thing where cities bid against each other because you'd always have multiple pissed off cities when it was all said and done. So they just moved from city to city saying, here's what it takes to be the host of this Super Bowl. Do you want it?
Right.
So it makes me wonder, is something going wrong with Miami's bid that all of a sudden LA's involved? So it looks like it's going to be LA or Miami for Super Bowl 61. And they're usually set farther into the future. It's just kind of weird that we only had two that we knew about until yesterday.
No, you're right. I mean, what did the old days, I feel like we knew, 4 or 5 years at least in advance of where the Super Bowls were coming. But either way, we got some good options now. We really do. And I would expect San Francisco and that to be a regular part of the rotation. Maybe it's not quite as in it as much as New Orleans and Miami and LA, but still, the weather's good that time of the year. I can remember being there that day. It was a comfortable 70-degree, 68-degree day. It was perfect for football viewing and in a stadium. So yeah, we'll see where it goes, but I think it'll be a good event for sure.
I'm going to deviate from the topic for a second because I thought of something.
What?
As we were talking about knowing Super Bowls that far in advance, and we know Olympics multiple years in advance. Do you remember any time in your life where you had that moment where you become aware of years into the future, you think for the first time years out? I know exactly where I was when I first had that flicker in my brain. Because when you're a kid, you're just caught up in today.
Yeah.
Right? or Christmas or my birthday. Like, you don't think years into the future. I remember standing in the kitchen of the house I grew up in, and my mom and I were having a conversation, and I must have been 10 or 11 years old, so it would have been 75, 76, and she starts doing the math, and she tells me I'm going to graduate from high school in 1983, and it blew my freaking mind. I mean, I was like this, and that was 40 damn years ago now, but I remember for the first time my brain opening up to this idea that life isn't just, as Bruce Springsteen would say, homework, church, green beans, homework, church, green beans, effing green beans. I mean, it's just like you're living your day in and day out life, and all of a sudden you think future. I don't know. I'm sorry to waste. What
I'm putting together is what do you?
But
think,
I wasn't aware of that.
Well, okay, I hear you. I mean, yeah, I can't know. I don't know right off the top of my head if I can remember that moment where it hit me. But I'm like, as I'm psychoanalyzing you right now, what are you worried about? You're worried about at Super Bowl 60, you're going to be 60 years old, and you're thinking about that. You're going, damn, I'm going to be 60.
I'm not thinking about that. No. Okay. I'm thinking about Super Bowl 80. But it was the first time in my life that I was aware of this concept of thinking about years into the future. Like when you're a kid, you just don't. You don't think about that. You think about now. You think about today. You think about tomorrow. If you've got a test, you think about the weekend. You think about whatever's coming up. Anyway, I thought of that when you mentioned we used to know 5 years out, because I can remember those times, whether it was the Olympics. 84 is going to be in Los Angeles.
Right.
That's a long time away.
Yeah.
88 is going to be in wherever
Seoul.
It was that year.
Seoul.
Calgary?
I think
Seoul?
it was Seoul.
88?
Yeah.
88? Yeah, Seoul. It was in Seoul.
Right.
The Ben Johnson year.
Right.
Oh, that's a long way away. I mean, all these things that throughout the course of your life seem like a long way away. Ain't that long.
No, they come fast.
Ain't that long. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.